Special articles. Is the house of Tcuhu the Minoan Labyrinth? While going through a back number of the American Anthropologists, the writer's attention was attracted by the figure illustrated in Figure 1. This was in a short paper by Dr. J. Walter Fuchs entitled A Fictitious Ruin in the Gila Valley, Arizona. In this, he showed that this symbol, which was first observed by an 18th century Spaniard scratched in the sand by a Pima Indian, did not represent the plan of a ruin as previously interpreted, but was used in some way in a game, the House of Tcuhu, or Tcuhu. It was curious, but this diagram was familiar to the writer, and his familiarity came from a distant part of the world. As shown in Figure 2, this diagram appears on the reverse side of a silver coin of Knossos in Crete of the Greek period, BC 200 to 67. In this case, the figure represents the Minoan Labyrinth. On other coins from Knossos, it sometimes appears in a square form, but even then it has the same ramifications. A comparison of this Greek coin with House of Tcuhu, when inverted, shows that the two are identical in every respect. There are three possible explanations for the coincidence. First, these symbols may have arisen independently in the New and the Old World. Secondly, the symbol may have originated in the Old World and have been transported to the New World, new in pre-Columbian times. Thirdly, that the symbol was introduced into America with the Spanish conquest. On the one hand, it has been pointed out by Fuchs that the symbol or something like it was early known to the Pima Indians, as the diagram is slightly modified form appears scratched on the adobe wall of the Casa Grande ruin among obviously Indian pictographs. On the other hand, it is possible that the diagram may have had a Spanish origin. While it is quite generally accepted by American ethnologists that such simple forms as the cross, the swastika, the wall of Troy, etc., arose in the New World as well as in the Old. Yet it's hard to believe that such complicated labyrinths, similar in every detail, could have had separate origins. Similar environments often call forth similar responses in different organisms. In such cases, the similarities, when carefully analyzed, are found to be superficial. The details will not agree. In this case, however, the agreement is exact. Again, there's a possible question that the figure from Fuchs is not a genuine Pima origin. A brief history of the symbol will make this clear. It seems that an unknown Spanish traveler visited the Pima country in the year 1761 or 1762. An account of this visit exists in the form of a manuscript. On the margin of one of the pages of this manuscript appears the figure, which I have reprinted from Fuchs, Figure 1. According to the unknown Spaniard, the Pima draw the symbol on the sand. He stated that it represents a house of amusement rather than that of a magnate, as no ruin has ever been discovered with such a ground plan. Dr. Fuchs was led to question old Pima concerning it. When Higgins, the name of the Indian, was shown the figure and told the opening lines of the quotation from the Spanish narrative, the last clause being withheld, he responded that he knew of no ancient house in that region which had a ground plan like that indicated in the figure. He was acquainted with a children's game that employed a similar figure traced in the sand. The Pimas, he said, called the figure Tcuhu, the house of Tcuhu, a cultist hero sometimes identified with Montezuma. A search in Russell's work on the Pima Indian and Cullen's Games of the North American Indians failed to discover a description of such a game. However, Russell did describe a game called Tcuhu Liquicut, a dart and ring game in which count is kept by means of little stones. These are moved on a diagram made up of a series of small holes in the sand arranged in the form of a whorl arising from a center called Tcuhu, the council house. According to Russell, Tcuhu in the mythology of the Pima is Gopher, who dug the spiral hole through which the Pima clans came up from the underworld. From this, it seems possible that both Russell and Fuchs were dealing with the same game. Strength is given to this idea by the fact that Dr. Fuchs showed Higgins the diagram, and the Indian said that it was the house of Tcuhu. The Indian did not draw the diagram. He may have simply recognized the spiral character of the labyrinth and not have considered the details. With such fragments of evidence and with so many gaps to be filled, it would be premature to draw any conclusion as to how this complicated symbol happens to be found in both the Old World and the New. The writer publishes this in hopes that some reader will also be familiar with the symbol and can aid in its interpretation. Harold Sellers Colton, University of Pennsylvania.